the country southern voice, it all the way. So now that means I gotta do New York, huh? I gotta talk like I'm from New York, right? I gotta talk like this because, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I need the people to understand where we coming from, son. I need them to understand that what we're on this platform right here, son, that we're all about your livelihood. We're all about your life. We're all about your health, your strength, your happiness. We want to make sure you grow. Okay, you get it, son. Okay, you get it. You get it, sis. but in but in all seriousness, this is what our platform is for. I'm B, but I'm also known as Magoon. That is I'm not going to say a chosen name, but another name that was given to me. Um, and Bestie, I don't think I ever told you what it meant. I don't think I ever told you. So you all get a chance. So if you all, this is your first time, you all get a chance to hear what a lot of people haven't known that have been following us for a while. But Magoon stands for the son of the little flame.
Oh, interesting. I like that.
And I
The son
said,
of the flame. Okay, I like that.
I was like, I get it now. I get it. Because remember, for those of you who don't know, I have a lot of fire and water placements in my chart, but I have always been drawn to fire since I was a kid. And so for me, it took on a whole different meaning. And I was like, wow. And I'm still understanding what it means to be Magoon, right? Because spirit doesn't give you things just to give you things. Spirit will always give you something that you need to help you understand who you are. And that's what we do on this platform is we take the things given to us divinely inspired to let you know who you are, whose you are, what you do, what you can do. You just got to understand the tools. So we drop them right here on this platform.
Right. That's right. We drop it like it's hot. And Magoon is very befitting. I've heard you introduce yourself many times, but now I know the true meaning behind it, and it's very befitting for you. So great choice. Like,
Right.
shows that. So welcome again, everyone. We thank you guys for joining us for our 32nd episode of Cards and Conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to send a big shout out to everyone who has shared, who has liked, who has commented, because that helps us get the message out. That helps that algorithm. So thank you guys for continuing to show us love. Even just sending us good energy while we're on this platform helps because we know that it is a war and it's not with flesh and blood. There's a spiritual war. So
Oh
sending us
yes.
good energy
Mm-hmm.
is very vibrational and it helps us out while we're delivering these messages for you. While we're spilling the tea, it helps us out. So let's jump right into it because you guys need to understand, understand, overstand the power of Pluto and how powerful this planet is in
Mm-hmm.
transformation and in destruction. And when you think of destruction, a lot of you guys may say, oh my God, like tower card energy. For something to be destructive or to just be torn down, that's got to be horrible, but not necessarily, because when something is completely torn down, then something new can be born and can grow. Sometimes you have to tear down things in order for beautiful things to be rebuilt. So, Pluto, the powerful planet of Pluto, transformation and destruction. But how does that tie into the music world? How has the planet Pluto influenced major music mongols in the industry? So first, we have to know what exactly the planet Pluto is. Okay, now Pluto is the slowest moving planet. In retrospect, it actually takes 153 hours for Pluto to complete one rotation, which is about 6 days on Earth. So Pluto is a slow moving planet. So when we look at that from the outside looking in, we can see that a lot of the things that have transpired in Hollywood have slowly happened, and they have strategically slowly happened.
Yep.
Now that we have a little bit of information on Pluto, now one fun fact that I did find out that I didn't know was that Pluto named after the Roman god of the underworld. I never knew that until I started doing a little bit of research
Oh
on the
yes.
topic. Like, oh, that's interesting. And supposedly, a little girl, she was 8 years old, she gave Pluto the name Pluto. And I was like, oh, how did they figure that? Like, I'm always interested to know how they know that this person did this and if that information is accurate. Like, were you there when a little girl said, we should call that planet Pluto? I'm so interested to know, like, how they remember who said what in what century, because supposedly it happened in the 1930s. Are anybody's ancestors alive from the 1930s? But word on the streets, a little girl named the planet Pluto. I don't know where she got the name from, but that's neither here nor there. So,
Yep.
I just want to say this too. This is sidebar. I'm just so grateful that my love for music and entertainment and pursuing a career in the music industry was not successful. And I only say that because the stories that are coming out about what these artists have to go through, horrific. The stories I've heard from friends that are in the industry. This is not just hearsay. Like, I have friends that are in the industry, and it's spine chilling to know that people are not able to make it and live out their dreams solely based on their God-given talents. That they have to basically sign away their souls in order to live out their dreams. And that really hurts, because God blessed you with these talents. He didn't make you sign anything. He just said, you're going to have this talent. I designed you to be this way. But when it comes to lower vibrational energies, we're talking the devil, we're talking people that want to have something hanging over your head. They always have to have something to bargain with. Mm-hmm. And what they need to bargain with is something that is special to you and that you hold dearly. And unfortunately, that sometimes is your soul. Not saying that everybody in the industry has sold their soul, but I just feel like they know who they need to bargain with and what they need to bargain to give them full control of their career. And it's really sad to know that. So I am incredibly thankful that God kind of detoured me onto another route. I'm still able to live out my dream of being in the public eye, just in a different way. Because I don't know if I would be okay with being in the industry that's cruel. And like Jaguar Wright said, I'm all for singing and acting and being in the public eye if it's cruelty-free artistry. I love when she said that. I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. I do it, but I need to know that it's going to be cruelty-free. Cruelty-free artistries.
Or. How many of you would love to still hear our wonderful Ashley, our wonderful Anya on an independent platform? I just want y'all to share because I'm trying to tell you, my bestie can sing, and I'm a writer and a singer, and she's a writer and a singer too. So I mean, we could get on and have a whole Cards and Conversation album just for you. Y'all just let us know in the comments what you want, but it's going to be.
Realistically, this is what YouTube and these other platforms have allowed people to do when they're not able to make it on the big screen. They can make it on a lower tier level. But I think notoriety is notoriety, whether it's NBC or whether it's YouTube. As long as I'm getting the message out, I'm okay. It doesn't really matter if I'm signing contracts, because I'm changing lives out here.
Okay.
And that's really what matters. So like you said a couple of episodes ago, Bestie, this is the year of the underdog.
It is.
Right now, a lot of people are seeing that. This is the year for people that have been looked over, brushed to the side, considered washed up. This is their year to rise and be heard. A lot of voices that were silenced are being heard. They're being told, come to the front. We want to hear you. We believe you. We want to know what's going on. And this has nothing to do with Diddy. Let me just say that first and foremost, because enough people are already jumping down his back. And I'm not here to take sides, but this is bigger than Diddy. This whole ordeal with what's going on in the music industry is bigger than Diddy. And you guys need to remember that, especially those of you that know what's really going on, because your eyes are open. This eye is open. It's bigger than Diddy. So
Yeah.
just know that you guys are not being told the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You're only being told snippets of it.
Also, before we go on, before we
Yes.
go on even further, I would like to give a moment of silence for Mr. Marcellus Williams.
Yes.
I want to
Was
do a
he
moment.
executed already?
He was executed today.
Oh, God.
He was executed today. So we're just going to take a few moments of time for him, his family, his friends, and in his honor and his remembrance. Okay.
Wow, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that they actually followed through with it. I thought that something would stop or either delay it at least once the evidence was resubmitted to the courts that showed that he was innocent. But that's a whole other story. Yeah, that. Oof. God rest his soul. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So, like I said, Pluto is referred to the planet of transformation. Its energy is intense and can lead to profound changes, both constructive and destructive. When Pluto transits through certain houses in a person's birth chart, it can bring about a reckoning. So think of it as the cosmic booming, sweeping away what doesn't need to stay, and sweeping away, welcoming in things that need to come to the forefront. And it's also a chance for you guys to reevaluate and see what needs to be rectified, what needs to be placed in its right order, and what specific events have caught our attention. For instance, having Pluto in the 10th house of career could indicate a powerful accent to success, but it's also a potential fall from grace. As Pluto transits in a person's chart, it often triggers the themes of power and loss. So this just isn't about an individual's mistakes. It's a cosmic wave sweeping through the industry, transforming how we view power dynamics. Okay, so what does this mean for the future of music? How can we tie this into the music industry? So as Pluto continues its transit, we can expect more changes. A lot more artists will fall from grace, and a lot of artists will rise because, like Bessie said, this is the year of the underdogs, leading to a new era in the music world. And Jaguar Wright talks about this relentlessly: cruelty-free artistry, a time where your talent alone will get you to where you need to go. Not who you sleep with, not what drugs you're taking in. It's cruelty-free artistry. And this is how music started. Talent. Once upon a time, your talent got you from point A to point B. I don't know what the hell they're doing now.
Exactly.
They have just reshaped our experiences and the industry that we love now. So everything is basically falling out of place and being destructive because it needs to be rebuilt. We need to rebuild this structure that we trusted for so long and that we thought was flawless, because nothing is flawless. So in recent years, we've seen significant changes in the music industry. Major Mongols have faced scandals, public scrutiny, and in some cases, total collapses, right? It seems that Pluto's energy is at play here, pushing for accountability, pushing for some reevaluation of who we think needs to be in charge and stay in charge. So, all of this is going to allow for new growth. And where are the rest of my notes that I took? I'm like, what's going on? I know this is not it. Yeah, I took more notes. I had an example of, oh, here it is. Okay. So, for instance, just so you guys get a little snippet of Pluto's energy, let's look at a few high-profile cases. So, first up, Diddy, since that's the most trending topic now. His rise to fame was meteoric, right? But he also faced a major backlash when the video came out of him beating Cassie, right? Once that footage came out, this is when Pluto comes into play, because here we can analyze in a person's birth chart and we can see how Pluto transits may have coincided with these pivotal moments. And people are always like, how are these astrologers, how are these spiritualists, how are these seers able to predict so many different things? They're looking at a person's birth chart. I did a mini Diddy birth chart breakdown where I spoke about all of this. I didn't deep dive into Pluto, but I spoke about a lot of different transits that are in his chart. And it's a lot of highs, a lot of lows. But the pivotal moment was looking at everything and seeing how it was all written. Everything was written. Everything that's happening now was written with him. So I thought it would be interesting for us to look at a couple questions before we get into the cards, because I don't know if the public is ready for 100% truth. And so this poses a question that I had. How important do you guys think authenticity is for artists in today's music industry? And I was actually having this conversation with someone the other day, because there was a point in music, there was a point in time in music where if you rapped about being on the streets, you know, gun banging, drug slinging, like you really had to be about that. You couldn't just rap about it. Like you had to really be about it. But now it's like you can rap about this and you don't really have to be in the streets or even know what it even is like to hold a piece. You know what I'm saying? So how important do you guys think that authenticity is for artists in today's music industry? And share some examples, because I don't know if people are really concerned with true artistry, or if they are just looking to just hear a dope beat over a track. Like, are you really focused in on, is this person authentic? Are they righteous? Or do you just want to hear something nice? What do you think, Bestie?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I have been watching and rewatching, rewinding to rewatch to make sure I saw the scene the correct way. I have been watching on Hulu the Wu Tang saga and story of how, and that is my absolute favorite one, because not one because I actually do love Wu Tang. We were children growing up in the Wu Tang era. We had one side of the story, but to go back and look at it and remembering what was happening during those times, it has
Yeah.
brought me so much nostalgia for our music from that time, because it was raw, it was authentic, it was, shout out to RZA. Like I really didn't understand him until seeing that. But RZA, if you come across this video, mad respect to you, because you had vision during a time when they told us not to have vision. You saw things that other people didn't see, and that is only something that we can truly say is divinely inspired. It's divinely inspired. And to get people who hated each other in one room. Do you know the amount of work that that alone has to take to say, I know that this person may have killed your homeboy, but now I'm asking you to work as if that doesn't matter, because we're on a platform for an even bigger reason, right? We're on a platform to showcase how we can be better than that. When we were placed in this area and made to fight each other, do you understand the level of peace, patience, and leadership and divine guidance that took? And so, and going back, it's like my after I finish watching the saga, because I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to treat myself to a Wu Tang concert and go back and listen to all of the songs, because to understand the level of artistry that a lot of the artists in that time had to do, like they had to mix and get their own beats, right? Because we all, if you don't know the history of rap, please look it up. You can find it anywhere, right? But it wasn't just, I'm going to create this sound, I'm going to create this music. No, it was, I need to take a sample of this, a sample of that, and make a sound, right? We're talking about in the era of VCRs and tapes, where you had to use the pencil, the end of your pencil, to rewind it, if you play the tape too much, right? And for them to have that level of industry, I don't see that now. Everybody is, I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of the artists that we see today are cookie cutter. That is, it's already a plan. We're gonna go with this beat, and everybody's gonna rap to this beat. No, bring back the rawness. Bring back the do 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 boo 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 do do boo. Let me jump on the beat for you right now. Let me tell you how you sounding like a clown, because you won't make up your real true beat. Let me tell you now, you just need to take a seat. I mean, come on. Like, nobody does that anymore. Bring it back. Bring back, like, and I will always say, and I have always said this. I was like, listen, I did not like Oh Dirty Bastard. I couldn't get with him, right? However, I respect him because he was true to himself. He did not want to sound like anybody else, and his music shows it, right? His music was, it was out there. It was like, sir, what are you talking about now? Like, you're sending me, right? You're sending me to a place that I have no, I'm sitting up here like the monkey scratching my head. Like, I don't understand where you're coming from. But he was true to himself. And a lot of artists are not true to themselves.
Right. Right.
And to add to it, that's why I have so much respect for the gay artists that are becoming mainstream, because I remember at a time that was not a thing. But I do need them to also show respect for the gay artists that was rapping underground a long time ago before mainstream. Like, my very first introduction, shout out to Ricky Lake. Ricky Lake showcased to us years ago how in the rap game there were gay artists before the Saucy Santanas and the Your Boy Candies, right? And I can't think of the boy's name from Miami. Like, I just don't like him personally. But anyway, so huh?
Rick Ross.
No. He's Trina's cousin. That's all I can tell you is.
Uh, Trick Daddy.
No. He's a younger boy, younger guy. Excuse me. Yes. So, but either way, thank you. but but what I was saying is that, I remember that Ricky Lake introduced us to a guy named Caution, and I loved that. And he had this rap, and from that, I used to listen to his rap, but then I don't know what happened to him, honestly. And then I came across a young man named Bryant, and Brian is talented, and I'm so excited because I just saw today, I want to say it's the 16th, he is doing a concert in New York. And I said, "Oh my gosh, it's either the 16th or the 17th." And I'm like, "I wish I could fly there just for his concert and see him live and then come back home because he is that good. Um, so I just wanted to say that. And hi,
Oh, I
thank you.
never even knew about this. Ricky Lake is like a throwback. I used to watch her, but her episodes are like throwbacks. Like I can't even remember what she used to talk about when she
She
used to come on, but
she
I
used
don't
to,
recall that episode.
yeah, she used to go to the nitty gritty, the on our level, right? And that's why so many people respected her because of her. She was true, and so that's I have mad respect for her for that, right? Um, but they were living their authentic selves. And if you go back and listen to some of their music from during that time, you will see how authentic these artists has always been. And like I said, and now it's like it's a show. I am not slamming your boy Candy because I'm a fan, right? He is crazy. He's hilarious. And and he does do the raw talent, right? He doesn't do
Okay.
the thing. So when I made my comment, I'm just being clear that I was not coming for him or anything. I'm just showing like we always say, pay homage to those that come before you. That's where I was
Right.
getting, right?
Okay.
That's where I was getting.
Now, so you think that back in the day, authenticity was more paramount? Like it was more vital for someone to be exactly who they are, comfortable in their own skin, because people could do pull-ups and they could say, "Wait a minute, I can pull up on you and find out if you really real or not." Because I know so and so who used to live right next door to you. People would actually pull up and expose people, but it's like now it's like every dog for themselves. Like they just want to just rap because they want to be famous or they want to sing because it's cute. It's like you have to stay true to yourself because if you don't stay true to yourself, you can start to sound like everybody else. Prime example is Sade. She didn't waver. She remained soulful, and nobody has sounded like Sade. Nobody even reminds me of Sade. Sade,
Okay.
like nobody reminds me of Sade.
At all.
And my did a project on her, so I was gonna say her government name, Sade Alafada Hadu, I believe. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Yeah, nobody can hold a candle to Sade. So okay, that answers the question. So you really feel like back in the day, people were more authentic as they are now, or versus how they are now, because now it's just about what sells, what's
Mm-hmm.
trending, what's popping, what can they push out to probably push and help push a what do you call it, a narrative, to help push a narrative. Okay, so another question, and then you could get to the cards. How what do you think? What are your thoughts on the current power dynamics within the industry? Do you think they are shifting for the better or for the worse? Because again, pause. A lot of people think of destructive things happening as, oh my God, the music industry is falling apart. We're not going to get another hit from Diddy because he's going down. I can't think of when the last time we got a hit from Diddy, but a lot of people are on the fence because they're saying that if they take him away, where is all the talent? Where is because once they take him down, and he's going to be taking a couple more other people down. So, do you think that the current power dynamics within the music industry are shifting for the better or for the worse?
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to pick up my other camera so I can say this one time and look at everybody while I say this. It is time. There has been a shift in time coming. So if the music industry must burn all the way down to restart, so be it, right? The only way to get something new from from something that has been for years is to burn it completely down and start over. And that is the problem, I will even say, with our country And I'm not saying that the whole country should burn down. However, we know that there has been evil seeds planted in this soil since the beginning. There are a lot of angry spirits and souls walking on this earth seeking revenge. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the scripture in Genesis where when Cain killed his brother, how the scripture says that God spoke to Cain and said, "Where is your brother? Because his blood is crying out from the earth." And I don't think a lot of people understand that that is still happening. So if right now things have to be burned down and cleansed, because how do we sage our houses? We burn the sage. So if it must burn to restart, and that's the thing about fire. Fire cleanses and purifies, but that means that something has to get burned off. I don't know if you all had a chance to watch my snakeskin shedding readings, but that was beginning process, but that was for individuals to understand what they needed to strip off and get off of themselves. I actually have it lit right now because I was instructed to, and I was instructed to speak over each candle as to what it represents. Because right now we're seeing a stripping. We're seeing things being stripped and pulled apart. It's that energy of what's been hiding in the back of the closet. Well, baby, all those bones now have to come out because there are some things that we're not privy to, right? But it's to showcase that you can't continue to do the things that you're doing and get away with it and prosper from it. There has to be an example somewhere. And we've been seeing it over the last few years. And now it's getting deeper and deeper because it's like the more this thread is coming loose, it's like, oh wait, but now we have another thread here. Oh, and now we have another thread here. And you know what that is? That is the web. What kind of web have you been spinning? Have a lot of people been spinning, and now you're about to be exposed for it. That's why we have so many artists that, why do we have one hit wonders? I wonder that. I have often wondered that. Why do we have one hit wonders? And I mean, made amazing songs and we never hear from them again. And I even think, and yes, I know there's some people that say, well, even she's a part of this industry. I think about how Beyonce has been sniped out of awards. And it's not just because of her, and it's because I do favor other Destiny Child members above her. Let me just throw that for the record. I am a fan of hers as well. However, the fact that this Black woman has been in the industry since, I would say 10, really, because I remember watching the Star Search programs, right? I remember when they Girls Time was on the television with Ed McMahon. I sure do. I was sitting front row in center as a kid watching the show. I remember that. But to say that this Black woman who has literally spent her life on the road is not deserving of like one of the greatest awards, the biggest award of all. What are we saying?
Here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She's it's like it's the same as when you say, Black people have been working tooth and nail in this country for centuries, and we're still noted as the minority. We're still noted as those that need the most help. We're still noted as the most violent and the most uneducated. And we accept these things. How is it that we can find progression in every area of our life except for when it comes to um, our place in society? Think about that. And so when we're talking about the industry and seeing a change, and do you think we're going to see the change? Who is running the industry? Who are the silent partners? Who makes these decisions? Who continue to tell us and make people believe that they are less than? Let's start with that. So when all these things are unraveling and we're seeing certain people, just understand that there's other people above them that's pulling the strings. They're the ones that don't want to be exposed. They're the ones that will do the cover-ups. However, they're only people, they're only humans. They can do but so much. Because when spirit says it's time for the great revelation, the great reveal, that's why I like the book of Revelations. A lot of people see it as, oh, it's the end of the world and things. No, the book of Revelation is saying you're going to start being revealed to what's the truth. That is our biblical tower moment, right? To shake things loose, to shake up the world so that we can see what's actually happening, the lies we've been told over the years, the people we believed. And I'm even going to share on this platform simply because I delve in health, but to have a conversation with someone who works with a major company. I don't want to share too much because of where I'm at. A major drug company, and he says, I am not taking the next COVID shot because it's been proven to be more harmful to the human body than anything else. And me and my family will not be taking it again. But yet here we are, and they're pushing it out. I've already spoke to my mother. She was like, I'm not getting it anyway. And I said, me neither. So and granted, I know people will say, oh, but it's drugs and it's education and they did studies and they yeah. But I'm hearing this for somebody who's looking at the lab report and has to process that. Oh, baby, no. If the person who gets their checks from the company is saying no, then you can be for sure that I'm not going to do that. Right? But how many other people are willing to get on the box and say, hey, no, this is wrong? And this is where we are at. Because a lot of people did not get on the box and said, hey, this is wrong. A lot of people did not open their mouths and say, this is the truth behind it all. They just saw the dollar signs. I'm sorry, I just watched the episode of Wu Tang, and so I got cream in my head right now. Because when I said that, all I heard was dollar bills, y'all. But but honestly, if we want to be real, right? What did he say? Cream stand for cash rules everything around me. And if cash rules everything around you, and that's all you're about is the cash and not humanity, you will always value cash above humanity. But with this world, we're talking about souls. We're talking about people and individuals. And I actually know people who could have been signed and they said, no, I refuse to be signed because the person told me that I had to literally sign over my soul to them in order to get a deal. I have heard these stories more than once. I even as someone in high school, and I've told Ashley this story, so now I can share it. I was actually inspiring as well to be an artist, a musical artist. And one of the ladies from my church, she was an elder, and she asked me, she said, "Well, baby, what you want to go to school for?" And I said, I'm gonna go for acting because I want to be in the entertainment industry. I want to sing, I want to act, I want to do it all. And she said, "No, and I'm gonna pray that you don't get it." And I looked at her all offended, like, how can you pray against my dream though? Like, this is my dream. Like I love you, but girl, you just killed my dream. And she said, "No, I'm gonna have my husband to talk with you." And he is a music well, he was a musician. They both have passed on. He was a very famous musician, played the piano and the organ for many singers, R&B, jazz, and Christian. And he was known as like a Christian musician. And he looked at me and he said, "No, I don't want that for you." He said, "I have seen some things. I have come across people that have horror stories." And he said, "Thankfully, I just barely got out the back gate myself on a few things." He said, "I do not wish that for you." He said, "Because it doesn't matter where you are in the industry,
Yeah.
things happen. I
Right.
have seen demonic things happen." Right. And this is somebody that was in the industry. And so then I was just like, but as a young person, it's like, but I'm gonna be protected. I'll be covered. I would, and oh, I was protected. All right. I did make it.
That
I
was
didn't make it. So I said,
protection.
oh, okay.
That was protection if it
Exactly.
truly was. And people don't realize that. And that's why you have to look at it. You have to look at it at a different perspective because we're only seeing a smidgen of what is really happening. And when people look at it from a closed mind, oh, well, if they take so and so in, that person helps feed the hungry. They can't swipe up or they can't scoop up so and so. That person's innocent. Like, you don't know what is happening and going on in this industry unless you're in it. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who did what, when, how, where, and the third. You just don't know. So that's why you just have to just, honestly, not even like take a side because stuff is going to come out regardless. And the truth is always going to be revealed. So don't even pick a side. Just let the truth come out. Let it come out. Let people be exposed for who and what they truly are, and then you can decide if you're gonna still rock with them because they made a hit or they're talented. Because righteousness, in my opinion, should always trump what how talented somebody is. If you out here doing excuse my French, I'm not gonna be rocking to your music, especially if you're doing stuff that you know you shouldn't be doing with people that you know you should be doing it with. Like, I'm not rocking with you no more. So that's all I have to say about that. You go ahead and read them cards because I can
Uh,
just go on and on and on.
okay. Um, can you hear us now? Soraya said she couldn't hear us. I heard you
Uh,
though, but I just
that was
want.
probably my connection. Sometimes it goes in and out. Can you hear us now, my love? It's probably my connection.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So I first pulled cards because I said I wanted to know what we should know about what we're seeing or what's going on right now, as it pertains to the industry and Pluto. And I had to do. I also did a search on Pluto, and yes, I found out. Of course, I knew that Pluto was related to the god Hades, right? And so I thought it was interesting that Pluto is also um, in etymology. It says Pluto is the Roman god of the underworld, from Latin Pluto, Pluton, from Greek Pluton, god of wealth. So it's known as the god of wealth and riches and overflowing. And it says from the pi root of plu, which means to flow. And so I thought that was interesting that in the other term, what was it? Profound change, growth, and transformation. And I said, and it's a profound change and growth for transformation, for the flow of riches and wealth. And that has not what has been happening. So Pluto recognizes that, oh, wait. There's too much money coming over here and not being spread out to the world. So that's why I said if it means that something must be burned down to be rebuilt up, so let it. Because that is Pluto's way of fixing the situation. If you have too much money flowing out and not coming in, then that means that there has to be a change somewhere. We have to make some sort of a change in our lives, um, how we do things, the people that we are connecting with, because that means somewhere along the line that connection is being corrupt. So let me go. So the first card that came out was Black Flower Fragrance, and it is number 16. I have to be careful with these cards because they're little, somewhat graphic. And it says it's in the moon phase of full. The stage is anger. And it says the world is unfair. Fuck off, dear world. Fuck you. And the visual seed is a beautiful woman, her face with a hint of resolve, holds a strange black rose on her chest. It seems to explode like a crystal, each petal an obsidian shard. The sentence: if we want to go dark, go black. Don't stop the evening, but embrace the night. Love is not a white dove, nor it turns people into angels. Love can be ugly, love can be cheap, love can be rotten, but even ugly love has a right to exist. Even cheap love can raise to the sky. Even rotten love has the dignity of eternity. Even a black rose by any other name should still smell as sweet. Even if you are wrong, you still have the right to be angry. Even if you're not perfect, you have the right to be respected. Even if you are stupid, you have the right to be listened to. Even if you are lucky, you have the right to complain. Even if you are rich, you have the right to be sad. If you cannot shine because you are beautiful, then shine even if you are ugly. Shine because you are ugly, gorgeously black, ugly as love, worn out as an angel, cheap as a crown, unconquered as a fragrance in the night. And so, what that let me, um, okay. So that lets me know that right now, what we're seeing is we're seeing the true essence of people right now in this time. We're seeing what we have not been seeing before. We're seeing, like it says, like the fragrance. The fragrance is what it is. We can't change the fragrance. I mean, like we could physically change it, right? By adding stuff, but if it's the true essence of a thing, this is what we're now seeing, right? No matter how beautiful or ugly the situation is, we're seeing the truth right now. The next card that came out says "Peaceful Among Thorns," number 26. So we had 16 and now we have 26. And again, it says "Peaceful Among Thorns." And it reads, moon phase is the first quarter. The stage is acceptance. So remember, this one was full moon. We're now seeing, it's like that moon energy. We're now seeing what was hidden. And now in the first quarter moon, now we're starting to get into the first stage of the reckoning, is what I will call this. And so it says the spiritual can't solve the material, but it can transcend it. The visual seed, a futuristic monk, has skin crossed circuitry, by small circuitry. There we go. Meditates in the lotus position. A eight-pointed star inscribed within the circle is at his back, like thorns piercing the air. A golden lotus aura envelopes his body. The sentence, coexistence of the material and the spiritual is the human way to enlightenment, but going dark. We talk too much about spiritual stuff, spiritual that, spiritual this, not that spiritual side isn't important, especially in an age when everything seems reduced to a materialistic drive. But aren't we going too much to the other side? I have I have a money problem, go spiritual. I have a health problem, go spiritual. I have a love problem. I think of true love and go spiritual. I want to have sex, go spiritual. If we were truly able to solve problems like this, what is spiritual would have been sold in grocery stores. Sometimes to solve money problems, you need money. And to solve love problems, you need to fuck. Strange, but true. Getting spiritual is not what solves our problems. It is what gives depth to our solutions. It makes them meaningful. It takes us from the small to the wide, from the river to the ocean. But sometimes we are not ready to make it our center, and therefore it's perfectly fine if we do not. And so, what I was getting out of this is that, yes, some people will like to make what we're seeing in the industry a lot of spiritual stuff, and not to say that spirit is not involved in it, right? But we have to recognize that there are sometimes there that people are just this evil with no spiritual influence, because, like, remember, we all have the right to choose. I've been studying some things up on witchcraft, right? Because mind you, I'm from the Christian world, and I was told that all the craft of witchery is evil and demonic. But I'm finding out some other things, and I'm finding some correlations of things. And I've often said, how can you preach about something that you don't have knowledge of? And one of the things that I read was that in witchcraft, they say this saying of do no harm. That is the number one rule, do no harm. Do not try to do things on behalf of people without their consent. Why? Because that's crossing boundaries, right? That's crossing lines that you shouldn't cross. They teach you that in medicine. We cannot do this thing for you without your consent. That is why in research, we cannot do anything with you until you sign that consent form, right? Parents, your children can't go nowhere on these field trips without your consent, right? That is the same thing in the spiritual world. So please understand that a lot of things that people have been doing is not by just because of some spiritual influence. Not to say that there is no spiritual influence involved, but the people chose to do these things. Just like I said people chose to do these things. Just like my friend said, he was asked, if you sell me your soul, you can be a famous artist. That means I would have to choose to give up my soul. I will choose to allow you to play the strings and me to be the puppet, right? So that means that if I give you my soul, now I'm saying is that I am allowing any dark entity to take its course in my life. And these people are choosing to do so because they're weighing money and wealth over humanity. So then the last card that will come out is the Queen of My World. And it's also in the full moon stage, which means now we're going to go from a full moon to a first quarter moon back to a full moon, which means it's preparing for the second stage of reckoning, right? And it says, oh wait, you know what? I don't think I read the. Oh yeah, because I did say it's acceptance. Okay, but it says full moon is the phase. The stage is bargain, and it says I set limits to my world. Inside I am queen, and outside is lost. The visual seed. Unto a snowy background, white columns rise through the forest. A pale woman dressed in scarlet bright red with a crown of thorns and white luminous lance strides forward, her posture confident and her feet bare. Sentence: I am my world, and my world is me. I am royalty. Going dark. There is a space out and a space in. There is my realm and what is mine, and there are other places. I will not care if my world is made of thorn and ice, and if it's carved by my blood. My world is my world. I rule. I decide his borders, and I am law. I am princess. I am the blood in the veins of its heart. I am the warrior and the bride. I am alone and I am the first among many. Be fearful of my world because it's paved of my hopes and dreams, and you have no power there. I am greater than the stars and more beautiful than the moon. So what has happening and what this is saying is that a lot of people have deemed themselves as the untouchables. And as long as we have this world and we create this world, I am untouchable. Who would dare cross this threshold and talk to me this way? You know, who are going to believe you because you are a nobody? It's that same energy. It's that I control the strings, you're right. And if I don't control the strings, I know who to call. I know who to do my bidding, right? But it's Scarlet, right? Right? Scarlet is also blood. It gives me I can kill you and get away with it, right? How many people have gone missing over in the industry? And I know they talk about, the conspiracy theorists and things like that, but at some point you have to look at things. And I'm going to even take us out of music for a second because I had a hard time. The plane that disappeared, right? And it was only a few years ago that this plane disappeared, and people try to figure out, oh well, we don't have the remains of the plane. It just disappeared. You mean to tell me that a plane with 147 people, I believe it said 147 people was on that plane, or for something like that. Anyway, close to 200 people was on this plane, and we have not found one body. We have not found one suitcase. We have not found one little teddy bear floating, because I do believe that there was children on this plane, right? You're going to tell me that there is no recollection of anything that this plane existence except for the fact that it took off and it never landed.
Was that the flight that flew over the Bermuda Triangle?
Um, no, this was one that flew. It was near an Asian country.
Okay.
But what the other thing that I found out about this flight is that it was a lot of scientists on this plane who was working on HIV and AIDS. Really?
Wow. That puts a lot of things in perspective then.
Really? This plane just automatically disappears, and okay.
That sounds Dr. Sadie-ish.
Right. And so when you think, when you created this world and you say that I can control things and nobody's touching me, that's when God has to come in and say, but I created this earth. This is when spirit says, but I was here before you, and you're going to tell me how to rule. Okay. So now worlds, private worlds, has to crash. Private worlds has to crash in order for an exposure to happen. And so I also pulled a card because I said, well, we talking about all this destruction and things. What is the hope that I can tell people? Like, how can we protect ourselves from being in the line of? Because now, because some of us, let's be real, some of us are already protected because of who we are on this earth and whose we are. Catch it. Um, but there's some people who honestly don't know. So I said, what can I tell the people? What can I share with the people? And the card number 41 fell out and it says soul song. And I thought, how appropriate. We're talking about Pluto in the music industry. And Spirit is saying use your soul song. So it says tune into the soundtrack of life. Now, mind you, what we've been talking about has been destruction and death, but now it's saying tune into the soundtrack of life. Spirit is funny. Soundtrack. But anyway, your soul emits a beautiful song. Think of it as pulsating light moving in rhythm with the universe. Your song travels through light and is the background music of your life. Even if you can't hear your song with your physical ears, know it exists. We know animals hear sounds, we can't. Your song is always resonating throughout the universe, along with the music of the spheres and the sound the universe made when it was born. The greatest song of all, Om. You can tune into it through your heart and your throat. Be willing to live your life from your highest, most aligned, most loving perspective. The next song or piece of music that moves your inner world will help you tune into your soul song, or you can go out into nature. The music of nature will balance and detoxify. Align with the sounds of the earth, and you will find the steps to take next. And how many times on this platform have we said, in order to be led by spirit, you have to center yourself? The best way to be protected is to hear what spirit is really and truly saying to you by reconnecting and aligning yourself. So once you start to align yourself, you get to hear the music from within. You get to hear what spirit is truly saying to you right now. And that's why many of us on our platforms, when we come up here and we speak to you, we're speaking to you about what spirit is saying of how you need to switch things and tweak things in your life to hear spirit for yourself. So it says the soul mastery class, the music of your heart, meditation. Behind the person in this image is a pale Sri yantra. A yantra is used as a point of focus during meditation and reflection. Sri loosely means respect, grace, or light. The Sri yantra is a geometric representation of Om, the sound of creation. It contains 9 interlocking triangles, 5 feminine triangles pointing downwards, and 4 masculine triangles pointing upward. Concentrating on the shapes and geometry draws the mind and heart into balance. Lie down and place the card at your third eye. Gently close your eyes and breathe deeply to relax your body and mind. Focus on the space you see behind your eyes. Think of it as a black velvety matrix where anything can be created. Begin to see triangles dancing in this space. As they come together, sense their different energies. They are directing you to center where a point of light is pulsating and humming. Allow your stream of consciousness to flow through the light and sound waves that are now surrounding you. Float on the waves of your blueprint. Sing and dance in the ecstasy of you. Stay here for as long as you like, at least a minute. The universe needs you to be who you are for it to know itself and expand. Can you feel how miraculous and important you are? Breathe this knowing into your body as you move back to your physical reality. Open your eyes and realize a whole new way of being. And then it even gives this journal work that I'm going to give to everybody. It says, write down 3 movies, books, or songs that move you to inspired or joyous tears. This response is alerting you to your soul passions. And the thing about it is that a lot of us don't know our true passions and our true creativeness. So that's why in the beginning, when we were talking about the authenticity of music, how it was in the past versus now, because people don't know how to be their authentic selves. And so the best way to be protected from everything that's happening is you have to be true to yourself. You can't try to copy someone else because it looks good. Because if that's not you, baby, when the time comes, it's going to show. And another thing, I talked about a message that I shared on my other platform, right? A part of that message was it's now time for a separation. It's a separation of the wheat and the weeds. If you've been living your life as a weed, meaning you are choking and killing the life out of a plant and the things around you, you're now about to be separated because now you have to deal with yourself and all the nastiness of you. But as the wheat, you're going to continue to supply sustenance to you and those around you. And that is a good thing. Why? Because in the separation, what happens to the weeds? They get thrown away and burned while the wheat get used to be bread and feed other people. It's used for its nutrients. So right now during this time of separation, we're going to see who are the life givers, and who are the weeds choking out people in this industry. And not only in the music industry, but in general.
Right.
So when you start losing people, you start losing things in your life, that means that it was a weed in your life. Because like I said earlier, there was okay, no, I didn't say that on this platform. So there was something that I had that, and I mean, I was partnered with this company for years on with this particular thing. Then all of a sudden we had an incident and they pulled the plug saying this is not what we agreed to. And I said, wait, we never had an issue. So how is it that all of a sudden this I get the plug on one incident that happened that wasn't even my fault? And I started to get upset. And then I realized what season. This is the season where the separation happens. Because when the destruction happens, it's got to destroy what it's intended to destroy and make sure that it doesn't get everybody. So if you start losing stuff, people, places, things, objects, don't even worry about it. It was truly not meant for you.
Right.
So as you get ready to grow and go about your day with this loss, just know that it has to be replaced. The universe is going to replace it with something better for you. So that was what I wanted to share.
Well said. And always remember that the universe has to balance out energy, and the righteous will rise. The righteous always rises. And I know this is cliche, but they always say that good guys last. There's a reason for that. They want to make the maniacal people think that they're in the lead, that they're running the show. And then right when they think that they're untouchable, what does spirit do? Spirit pulls the rug out from underneath them.
Every single time.
Every time. Every single time. So let them think that they got it. Yeah, you got it. You good. That's all you. That's all you. And then when they least expect it, that's how it always happens.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since history, since Christopher Columbus did not sail the ocean blue, it's always happened that way. When you least expect the spirit will come and pull that rug underneath you.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm pulling cards. Oh, because I'm gonna show y'all what literally just came out of this deck. Falling apart and falling into pieces.
Damn.
Trash, throwing away, getting rid of, tossing out. Caution. Because as this stuff is happening, be cautious that you don't get caught up in it too.
Keep them hands clean.
What that say? I'm gonna let y'all read it for yourself.
Shit go down. Watching shit go down. That's what we doing now.
And it says enjoying the gossip.
We don't speak that way in this platform. Yeah.
And then betrayal, deceit, backstab, traitor, not to be trusted. Not to be trusted. So it's a lot of people that's about to get some flack for some things and they're not to be trusted. Why? Because they are stained. And I know that says red lipstick stains, but what I'm hearing spirit say is that they have stains that they can't get rid of. And so it's going to be exposed.
And you know what? Like I said earlier in the conversation, I think a lot of people are not focused on the bigger picture. They're focused on the hits. They're focused on the bebop. They're focused on their imaginary relationship or their infatuation that they have with these music models. Their fantasy. They're in Never Land basically, and they think that they have like this great friendship. These artists that we never even met. And they're not even thinking about the bigger picture, which is everything has to crumble in order for something to be rebuilt. You got to think about that. That's the bigger picture. Everything has to fall so that it can rise, so that Phoenix can rise from the ashes to which everything was burned down from.
Exactly. That's my favorite mythical creature of all because it rebuilds itself and is born renewed and anew each and every time.
Definitely. Well said. Well said. And it looks like we have, I don't know, do we have enough time to take a question from someone? Because we went over a little.
That's up to someone who, if they have a question or something that they want to listen to.
Okay, well, this is the time of night that we open up the floor for a brave soul to come forward and ask a question, anything involving anything that you want to get off your heart. So the floor is yours for any brave soul that wants to ask a question, and we'll give you guys time to figure out if you want to come forward or what your question may be. So in the meantime, while you guys are pondering on your question, don't forget once this video posts to the page to make sure that you guys like, comment, and make sure you're following the channel so that you can follow more conversations that we'll have on this platform. Do we have anyone that wants to ask a question? Going once, going twice. People are joining in as we're ending. I love it because you get to watch it from the beginning. So
right.
people are coming. So we have a lot more night people are like snoozing off. But it looks like we have a lot of night owls. So, all right, well, that's okay. We had
Yep.
someone come on for the past couple of nights. So, tonight we'll go ahead and wrap up. So, we appreciate you guys for joining us for another episode of Cards and Conversations. And let me just say this to set the tone. If you're talking slick and you're trying to be funny, or you're talking to one of us disrespectful, you're going to get blocked. Plain and simple. I thought that you can play that smart girl shit or smart guy shit. If you was twice as smart, you'd still be dumb. So don't play that shit over here, okay? Because you're going to get blocked. All right? Yeah. Now that that's out of the way, thank you guys again for joining us on another episode. And if you guys didn't know, we do this every Tuesday night, 11:11 Eastern Standard Time, right here on this page, and we will upload it so you guys can watch it from the beginning. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, same time, same place, Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intrigue in the session.
All right. Peace.
For joining in as we're ending. I love it because